But since we're talking about these stupid prosecutions, let's get into more of the ways that this Republican Party, which it's not just a fascist administration, it's a fascist party. Lindsey Graham and his lying ass. He also went on TV, and still not sure why, but he went on to try and defend these directed, targeted prosecutions where Donald Trump obviously and wrote down how he wanted to go after his political enemies.
These indictments that we have seen, the indictment against Letitia James and James Comey as well. NBC News again has confirmed that that post that President Trump put on Truth Social was actually meant to be a private message to Pam Bondi. Do you think it's appropriate for the president to direct his attorney general to indict whoever he says?
Well, I think it's appropriate for Comey to answer for his conduct. 5 years ago at a hearing we had in 2020, when I asked him, why didn't you tell the court about exculpatory information, where the CIA gave a memo to Strzok and Comey saying there was intel that Hillary Clinton's campaign was creating the false narrative that Russia and Trump were working together. The man who created the Steele dossier recanted it in February, and Comey kept using the document to get warrants. So, yeah, I think the grand jury is doing the right thing. And Trump got indicted 91 times, 3 days after he announced for president in February 15th, 2022.
But Senator, I'm asking,
got 91 indictments in foreign jurisdictions.
Did you ever stop to think here, Lindsey, that Trump got indicted 91 times because he did about 91 different forms of crime? Matter of fact, he's a 34-time felon. Why don't we keep talking about how this guy didn't win those cases? He keeps talking about how he got indicted. Can't believe how many times he got indicted. I can't either. I can't believe how many times we indicted a former president. Enough people didn't realize he's a fucking criminal. He's celebrated criminality. He talks about how he breaks rules and breaks laws and nobody's going to stop him because they're too stupid. He's open about his criminal behavior. He's a lifelong criminal. To go back to the original question was, do you think it was appropriate for Trump to lean on his attorney general to then prosecute his enemies? As you can see, Lindsey Graham didn't have answer to that question because he can't say, well, yeah, I mean, I'm all on board for it. That is until she asked him again.
But Senator, I'm asking about right now and this sitting president's actions right now. It's worth noting that James Comey,
the grand jury indicted them.
James Comey and Letitia James have said that they said that they are innocent of these crimes that they've been accused of. But Senator, very quickly,
they'll have a chance to prove it.
To the appearance, though, Senator, the fact that President Trump publicly called for his attorney general to indict people. Do you think that crosses a line between the Justice Department being independent from the executive branch?
I think our Justice Department in the hands of Biden crossed every line there is to cross. I think within 3 days of announcing he was going to run for president in 2024, he did that in 2022.
But what about Trump?
He had
but 91
Senator, what about
indictments. Trump? What about?
Now, I think the grand jury is going to take care of this, but you didn't care any about this. You didn't care that Letitia James made up charges that no one's ever faced.
But Senator Biden never publicly called for Trump to be indicted.
He had 90. Biden regretted that they didn't do it before the election. Jack Smith surveilled my phone records and 8 other senators. Jack Smith introduced his brief against Trump October the 24th before the 2024 election, violating every protocol just to politicize the election. So this may bother you that people are being held accountable. It doesn't bother me one damn bit.
Sounds like when this got all personal about how they investigated you because you're so close to a criminal and you're willing to lie from at every turn, it seems like you're upset and you're okay with this because you were included in that investigation. I'm going to quote every Republican before and say, if you didn't do anything, you have nothing to hide. Why don't you just let us know what's going on? Hey, why resist arrest if you didn't do anything? Hey, he wouldn't have been beat up and shot in the streets if he just didn't resist. There's another confirmation of someone then talking about how I guess they realize that this is all about a retribution campaign.
Jim Comey, by the way, Jim Comey is where it all, so you talk about weaponization, that's where it all started. 9 years ago, Jim Comey's the guy who took the dossier paid for by the other party's
But that's not what he's being prosecuted for.
Used that. I understand that, but I'm just saying this is, you want to talk about weaponization? It's Jim Comey's where it started. That is totally where it started. He took the dossier, went to the secret court to get a warrant to spy on the other party's campaign.
So this is retribution,
and then they changed the intelligence community assessment after the first.
So you're saying
no,
this is
this
retribution
is about
against
looking
him.
at the facts, looking at the law. No, I'm just saying Jim Comey, this is, you mentioned weaponization. I'm saying that's where it all started.
Well,
what I'm saying is happening here is they're looking at the facts and they're applying the law to each individual case.
I feel like Jim Jordan shouldn't even want to go on TV anymore at this point. Has he ever said anything where people went, oh, that was actually an intelligent thing to say? I hadn't thought of it that way, Jim. Man, you really brought a new perspective that absolutely wasn't based in stupidity and cluelessness. How many times does he have to keep coming back and saying, oh, I didn't know that? Which I think he said last week.
You're here on Capitol Hill tonight. A lot of your colleagues are not because you're not in session. And Speaker Johnson has said he's not bringing y'all back until there's an agreement to reopen the government. Is it clear to you why Speaker Johnson has not sworn in the new member, Adelita Grijalva, yet?
Because we're not in session. It's typically done when we're all there. It's a special thing. The individual the new member gives a speech in front of Congress, sworn in by the Speaker of the House, introduced by colleagues from their delegation. That's how I've been here 19 years. It's always been done that way. So that's nothing out of the ordinary. The reason we're not here is because we've done our work. We've passed the bill that funds the government again at the levels Chuck Schumer agreed to, and now he won't support it because this debate is Chuck Schumer can pick common sense or he can pick the left and AOC. And right now he's picking the left and AOC after he picked common sense 6 months ago. Plain and simple, and I think the American people understand that.
So you're saying because it's a pro forma session, that's why?
Yeah, because there's two people on the floor, or whatever. But normally it's done in front of the full House. That new member in a special election gets, I think, in some ways, a kind of a neat experience where they get to talk to the House their first day getting sworn in, and that's happened every single time that I can recall with any new member elected in a special in the middle of a congressional session.
But a couple months ago, he swore in Jimmy Petronas and Randy Fine in a pro forma session.
I actually didn't even know that when they were sworn in.
Now, in being cornered with his declarations, because he's got to go in hard. That's their whole idea. Donald Trump says, anybody who defends me have to go in and get aggressive and angry. So since he goes in aggressive and angry, his brain isn't clear enough to be aggressive, angry, and have some kind of a thought process behind his, his propaganda. So then has to be told, this sounds like a retribution campaign, Jimmy. Dummy. How do you not get that? No, I'm just saying we're going to apply it all. I get that now. I get that now. In case you haven't caught up on the theme yet, they're all liars. Don't believe what they say tomorrow. Don't believe what they say later on today. They're all liars. I said it last week before the Sunday shows happened, and they got to lying there too. So be prepared. The lies are coming again. The fact that they're living in a lie means they have to continue that lie, or else what's the point of this last several months of lying?